I absolutely think there's a difference between someone's unique style and what they're known for versus a regional sound and a regional style. I think the thing with Drakeo the Ruler and Kendrick Lamar, in which Drakeo the Ruler's father, rest in peace to Drakeo himself, said that he heard songs on Kendrick's GNX that sounded like his son would have made it. And to that I say, to those records, they remind me more of just Bay Area West Coast stuff. E40, Sugar Free, right? Like when I hear that, that's what I think of. What I think the thin line here is that Drakeo the Ruler himself, some of y'all haven't heard him, he lived in that space. He occupied that space. Almost all the songs he did was in that realm. So I could see when you hear someone, especially a major artist like Kendrick doing that now, you think of Drakeo. And months ago, I do remember people actually taking Drakeo's vocals and putting it on, records like A Now and Peekaboo, and it worked. It fit. And I was like, oh yeah, sounds about right, right? Now, I'm not really a big fan of like you own a flow in hip hop, but I see that people use that as a point of contention, arguing and discrediting people. But at the same time, I've seen this with Jay-Z, Young Chris. I saw this with Drake and XXX. I saw this with Gilly and Wayne. What I'm more concerned about is somebody saying you stole their songs or you stole their lyrics. But in terms of flows, you take these flows from these people, they still most likely have a career, right? So there's that. I think flows are meant to be passed around, especially if you're in the same cliques, you live in the same regions. There you have it. Now, lastly, on this topic, I will say this. When Draco's father got into the politics side in terms of maybe why Kendrick didn't at least give a nod to Draco, I can't speak to that. I'm not from that area. Apparently, LA County, West Coast stuff gets weird. I do know, other people that have that Draco style. AZ Chike was on the project. I heard they may have had something with Angle Weird, Dodie Six. You see what I'm saying? That sound, right? So there's that. Now, I do know somebody pointed out to me that Kendrick, when he said the big face Buddha line, that apparently might have been an ode to Draco, and people are supposed to know that. I can't. Right? We got to be cognizant of what we know and what we don't know. But yeah, his father says the rhyme pattern, the syncopation, all of that was pretty much the same. But I think he was a bit, grief is weird, man. Y'all got to be, this is still his son. This is still his son, right? And I thought he dealt with it. Because no jumper, man, no jumper is no jumper. That's all I'm going to say about that. I thought he addressed that pretty well. I thought he addressed it pretty well. And I think that some people who aren't open to having these conversations because, they think like, oh, you're just hating on Dot and it's no jumper, they might take it a certain way. But to me, I think this is a conversation that can be had. And I think it's just more having, a convo about the Bay Area sound being picked up by a guy who never just lived there like Drakeo the Ruler did. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. And by lived there, I meant like lived in that space of sound, not the area. I get it. It's from West Coast. They're both from the West Coast. I just feel like somebody's gonna misinterpret that.